make fun of these dumbasses.
Hey guys, it's Kristen and Bethany here. Thanks so much for joining the conversation today. We love hanging out with y'all. It is so fun. So if you like this video, as always, give us a thumbs up.
Boom, boom.
It really makes a difference. And if you want to see more
Boom,
videos,
boom.
be sure that you are subscribed and that your notifications are turned on.
Key.
This is huge. You may not have your notifications turned on, then you don't know when we post new videos. And we come out with like 3
Who
new
gives
videos
a shit when you
every single week.
post?
Someone just said, like, I thought I was subscribed to you, but they didn't have their notifications on,
Right.
and so they weren't ever
They were
seeing our
missing
videos.
all the videos, so make sure those are turned on. And if you really appreciate this channel and you want to link arms with us in a really personal way to help this channel function, we are actually ad-free because of people who support us over on patreon.com. We have so many amazing patrons who give like $1 or $2 per vlog that we create. So that's like 4 vlogs a month, and you can join the team, help this channel continue on. Please, it would mean so much. You can learn more by clicking the link below at patreon.com/girldefined.
I think something that we all can relate to is the fact that at some point in our life, we are going to have something challenging, something difficult that we are going to have to trust God with, a situation, something personal. And it's hard, you know, because we are either oftentimes coming out of something challenging or we're on the brinks of going into something challenging. And that's
How can you trust God when there's no evidence?
It doesn't matter. The older you get, oftentimes the harder things.
There's so many more
evidence.
things you're like,
things can get.
yeah, life is much more out of my control than I ever thought it was when I was young.
Totally. And I know for me, there have been 2 things that have kind of been ongoing that I've really had to learn to trust God with because they're hard and I truly didn't and still don't have control over. The first one, which you all have heard me talk a lot about, is my singleness. And I know that's something that a lot of you can relate to, especially when I was single and talked about it and shared my story. A lot of you were like, I can so relate to that. And that is so hard for me. And so I know we have so many from the sisterhood who are still in that season, and it's difficult. I remember, I get it, the lonely nights, the Friday nights when it's like all my friends have boyfriends or husbands and I am at home alone.
Valentine's Day, holidays.
And the struggle is real, and I think that's something that we don't want to diminish. Like, it's hard. That's of a longing that oftentimes is God given. He's saying, yes, you know, marriage, relationships, I created you for that, but not right now. And so that can be so difficult. And I know for me, I really had to learn to trust God with my singleness.
Where's the evidence?
And then another one, which I've talked some about, but not a lot, is the fact that I've struggled with really bad migraines for years and years, really, like for as long as I can remember.
Why don't God cure that?
Yeah. And like
Cure
this morning, I
all,
woke
right?
up and I didn't even get to work several hours late because I was just like in bed, and I took some medicine and I was like, please work because I need to function today. And it's really hard, but that's kind of a behind the scenes thing. And a lot of you have those situations where no one really knows. It's not really a public situation, but it's really difficult and it's hard to trust God with. And so whatever your situation is, whether it's a health issue, a relationship struggle, something going on at school,
an
team you
unfulfilled
really
longing,
make,
something you desire that's not happening in your life,
something that's just so out of your control and you're impacted by other people in your life, we really want to share with you some truths that have helped us so much in learning to trust God with those challenging areas in our lives.
Just like you, I've also faced a lot of challenges in my own life in ways that I've had to trust God. And I think so often as Christians, it's easy to say, like, trust the Lord, just trust him and it'll be great. And then we're like, what does that actually mean? Like, how do I actually trust God? How do I practically every single day when I'm in the midst of something so hard and I don't know when the end, like where the end is, how do I actually trust God? And we've asked those same questions. I'm really wrestled with what it means to trust God on a daily basis. And so as we were working actually on writing Love Defined, our book that's on relationships, we came up with this acrostic.
Don't nobody need to buy your books.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which talks all
Y'all
about
are so brainwashed, it's not funny.
all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And I think that's like your favorite, you call it your life anthem verse, but we wrote about it in Love Defined, but it's not, and we were applying it to specifically like relationships and singleness and desiring marriage, those sort of things. But this trust acrostic can be applied to any different season of life, any sort of unfulfilled longing. And basically what we did, and this was helpful for our own hearts, so we were like, we want to share this with others, and we wrote about it in chapter 8, which fittingly is called When Your Heart's Desire is Unfulfilled. And that goes for so many things in life. And basically we took the word trust and we pulled out each letter and actually expounded, like, this is what the T stands for, this is what the R stands for. So we're gonna walk to help us better, and like a way that you can memorize it, you can write this out, like the trust acrostic, write it out in a beautiful way. You've seen girls do such pretty things, like on Instagram, like write out trust and like post it on their mirrors. It's just helpful. We need these daily reminders. So we're going to quickly walk through this and unpack what each letter stands for. So T, The first T stands for turn. And so often when we're seeking to trust God, we don't realize that we're believing a lot of lies at the same time. And we're questioning, like, is God trustworthy? Can I trust him? How will this turn out? And we become anxious.
You're believing lies.
And we get our eyes off of God.
It starts with God.
Our circumstances. And so what we need to do to help our own hearts, I know for me, to help my own emotions, which can be a roller coaster, is to turn from those sinful thoughts. It's sin to be super anxious instead of trusting God. It's sinful to be extremely fearful
it's natural.
Instead of trusting God.
It's natural to want
God is saying,
do these things.
Don't be anxious. Don't be so controlled by your circumstances. Instead, turn to me. Turn from those sinful thoughts and trust me. So that is the first step that we need to take. Isaiah 41:10 says, and this is such an awesome promise.
Turn from your
it commands
natural
us,
thoughts?
Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you.
God.
I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And so believing that truth and turning from those sinful thoughts is the first step that we can take towards trusting God.
The next letter in the acrostic is R for remember. And this is one of the most helpful things for me. Remembering who God is, that he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I think it's easy to look around and saying, yes, this is who God is for other people, but he's not that for me. Yes, I see him in the Bible do all these amazing things, but not for my story.
You've seen him do it?
So
I don't think so.
Remember who God is. Like, the same God that we love and worship is the same God that, in Daniel in the lion's den, that closed the mouths of the lions, that rescued the Israelites out of Egypt and provided in incredible ways with David and Goliath. You think of these stories and it's really easy to say, like, yeah, great, God for them, but that's not the same God for me. Yes, it is. It's the same God. So I think just slowing down and even remembering some of those, like, kid Bible stories we heard and remembering them in more of an adultish way and saying, wow, that is my God. That is the same God. I'm going to remember his faithfulness, his great works, and know that I can trust him.
His great works.
He's the same God today and forever.
Woman, there's people dying of disease and starvation in third world countries.
Okay, uplift, what does that mean? Uplift what?
What are you talking about?
God's name. So often when we're in the midst of our struggle, in the midst of our unfulfilled longing, we get our eyes so off of God and so onto ourselves that we are consumed with ourselves. And then we forget that there's actually this awesome, amazing God who is our creator, who's in control of all things.
He ain't my damn creator.
Worship and praise him. We forget that, and then
I don't believe he even
exists. It's all up to us to make things happen. So uplift is such a great reminder that when you're feeling down, when you find yourself so focused on the circumstances, to just even physically, like, look up with your eyes and remember that God is so awesome. Praise his name, worship him, turn on a worship song. There's been times where I am driving in my car and I am feeling so down about something, and I crank up a worship song and I just start uplifting God's name. I start praising his name, and it's amazing how my emotions follow what is true. They follow what is right. And I
do you know why?
God, and then it
you
helps
brainwashed woman.
I'm reminding my heart, I'm reminding my mind that he is trustworthy, that he is awesome.
He's trustworthy.
I can anchor my trust in him.
Come on.
The S stands for surrender. This is probably one of the hardest things to do, because we do not want to surrender to God. I think when we feel like we can control things, which we can't, but we want to hold it with like a death grip.
I control my life.
Comfort, but really that's the exact opposite of what God is calling us to do. He's saying, you can trust me, and I want you to surrender this to me. So think with singleness. God wants you to talk to him and say, God, yes, I want to get married. I want a relationship. You've put this desire in my heart, but you're not fulfilling it right now, so I need to surrender this to you. And it's not a one-time fix all.
Shit.
When it comes to something that's challenging and difficult, it may be 100 times a day where you have to stop and say, God, I'm trying to take this back from you. Please, I'm giving it to you. I surrender this desire to you. And it's as simple as thinking of like a closed fist. When our fist is closed, when we're holding on to that situation, we're trying to control it. We're not surrendering to God. But when we open our hands, say, God, you take it. And we might try to take it back multiple times throughout the day, but we have to open our hands. So even just physically opening your hands and lifting them up and saying, God, I surrender this to you. It's a great visual. So just look at your hands sometimes and ask yourself, am I surrendering? Nope, I'm trying to control. God, help me to surrender.
And the last letter in the trust acrostic is another T, but it stands for thank this time. And the reason thanks, gratitude, however you want to say it, the reason that is so important and has been instrumental in helping us trust God in the midst of hard times is that so often, like I even said before, we get so focused on the circumstances that becomes our everything. That becomes the center focus of everything in our lives. And then we lose sight of the fact that God has actually given us so many other things in our lives that we can be thankful for, ways that we can express our gratitude to him. And so instead of focusing so much on what
Gratitude,
we don't have,
hell.
in scripture, we are commanded to give thanks so many times. And I think a huge reason is that God knows in our hearts when we are operating out of a heart of gratitude instead of ingratitude, that is where the source of joy comes from. God brings us joy through a heart of gratitude. And so instead of focusing so much on your circumstances right now, we just want to challenge you and challenge ourselves to look around in your life and say, what can I give thanks to God for? How can I offer gratitude to God right now? You might be like, I can't think of a single thing. Well, maybe the fact that you're alive, God has given you life, given you breath. He has a purpose for you. You can start by thanking God for that. Your salvation, if you're a believer, thanking God that he sent his son to die on the cross, thanking God that you have a roof over your head, thanking God that you have food to eat tonight, whatever it may be. And the list gets really long when you stop and actually start to think about it.
You can't prove your God exists.
If you focus on thanking God rather than focusing on what you don't have, it will transform your heart. And if you're not sure where to start, if you're like, I don't even have the words to say right now, an awesome place to go is Psalm 103, and it's the psalm that talks about bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me, bless the Lord. It's an amazing psalm to take your heart off of your circumstances and on to thanking God.
So that acrostic we just went through sounds very simple, but it can be so hard to live out. And I just want to review really quickly. T for turn, R for remember, U for uplift, S for surrender, and T for thank. Those are some big things to live out. Even if we don't keep them before our eyes and on the forefront of our mind, I know for me, I'll revert back into the same old habit, the same way of living, the same controlling mindset.
Oh, you mean the natural way?
Complaining, getting so focused on my circumstances.
Operating out of fear and anxiety and worry.
Rather than truly trusting God and truly unpacking it and saying, am I trusting God? So I want to encourage you to write these down. Write them down. Put them on your mirror if you're getting ready in the morning, in your car, in your school books, in your Bible, wherever you spend time and wherever you're tempted to not trust God, put this acrostic there so that you can remember, God, I want to trust you. I want to turn from this anxious thought.
I ain't trusting child molester and I ain't trusting murder.
I promise you that if you are intentional, God, he will give you the strength.
You need to read the Bible to see what it really says, woman.
You can be transformed, and
You're
you will go from
brainwashed.
someone who is anxious and worried and like controlling of the situation to someone who says, God, I give it to you. I trust you. You're a good God, and I know that you will take care of me.
Again, guys, thanks
You need
so
to
much
look
for
in
watching.
third
If this
world
was helpful
countries
for
and you'll
you,
change your
please
mind.
give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone. I mean, if you have a friend, a sister, someone in your life that's also really
Nobody
struggling to trust
support
God
these
right now, maybe
people.
they're going through a really hard time, you can actually click the share button on YouTube or
They're in
wherever
a
you're
cult.
watching this and help spread the message. And again, if you want to support us and help this message go forward in this world today, then please join us on patreon.com/girldefined. You can find out more by clicking the link below. I'm so long.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
You were getting so much